Looking a bit of a hot mess and all natural, but this is what you get. I took a couple days off to take it easy. So I am going to update you on what's happened the last few days. Today is Tuesday, March 11th. My transfer was on Sunday, the 9th. And prior to that, I had some side effects from the egg retrieval that did get worlds better on Thursday night going into Friday, but I did end up with a UTI, which was not fun. So, in an attempt, a successful attempt to make sure that my transfer wasn't delayed, they let me take a bunch of Tylenol so that I would be able to deal with having a full bladder for the transfer, because you have to have a full bladder because the transfer is done with the help of external ultrasound, and when you do that, your bladder kind of has to be full and out of the way so they could see your uterus. So luckily, my doctor was, my RE, was a wonderful guy who completely understood. I felt like my bladder was completely full. I was in so much pain, and it was only a quarter full. So they worked with it, put in the Zoom, and they pressed down a little bit harder, which of course made it worse for me, but that's all right. They got it done. So let me back up a little bit. When we got there Sunday morning, they told us that all 10 embryos were still with us. All 10. I don't know how rare that is, if it's a common occurrence. I mean, all the stories I've heard of, that I've watched, that I've listened to, you always lose a few. So we were amazed that after the 5-day growth period, we still had 10 embryos with us. We were just completely amazed. However, what they did tell us is that only 2 were available for transfer on Sunday. The other 8 were doing good, but they were behind. They were behind about, I think it was 2 growth stages. So where they expected the embryos to be at, they were about 2 stages behind. They really had no explanation for that. And they advised us, because of my age, and I hated hearing that, makes me feel like I'm 80. They advised us, because of my age, to transfer 2, just for a better chance, which we had planned on anyways. We went into it saying that, okay, well, if the embryo grading was good, then we were going to do 2. If it wasn't that good, then we'd think about doing 3. The joke with that between my husband and I is, my history states that my body should hopefully not have any problems getting pregnant. So as long as the embryos are good and strong, we're thinking this is going to work, and that's what I'm going with, because positive thinking, right? This is going to work. So the catch was, were we okay with triplets? I don't know. We are okay with twins if that's the way it works, if that's the way God plans it, then that's awesome. We're, of course, grateful for a singleton. We are grateful for anything at this point. But, you do have to think about that going into this. What if all 3 take? That, yeah. But we did say that we would chance that, and we would make it work if that's the way it happened. But the ratios state that if the embryo grades are less than average, then your chances are better with putting in 3. And you do have to sign off for that, because they don't want to be responsible for not making you aware of the risks involved with that. But neither here nor there. We only had 2 embryos that were okay at the point of transfer. So we didn't get a choice of which 2 we got, of which 2 we were going to transfer. We went with the 2 that were ready, which is awesome. That's awesome. It didn't bother us that we didn't have a choice. The way we figured is, if all 10 of them were still with us and only those 2 were ready, then those are the 2 that were meant to be the transfer. Those were the two that were meant to go in first, so we just went with it. And thankfully, we are so blessed during this process, I cannot even describe to you. The first embryo was a 4AA, and they literally told us that it was textbook. The picture of this embryo, they said, could have been in an IVF reference manual or the little picture cards that they show you when you go in. And we were like, wow, really? So they did give us a picture of that, and let me fold, I should have done this first. Let me fold this up so that you can't see all of my information. All right, here we go. Hopefully you guys can see that. That is our 4AA. They did not have to do any assisted hatching. This one went as is because they said that all of this looked good. It was ready and raring to go. So that's awesome. That's our little overachiever. We're calling that one our overachiever. And the other one was a 3AB, which is right down the center of the road. That's an average grading. This one did need assisted hatching, just because it was slightly behind the 4AA, but they said it was still good. Here you go. That is our 3AB. And they said they were happy with both of these, even though that one needed assisted hatching. It wasn't a big deal. But my husband and I came to the conclusion that all the jokes that you hear all your life that girls are a little faster than boys when it comes to growth and catching up with things. We made a joke that this one has to be a girl and this one has to be a boy. We have no clue, obviously, but that's our guess. And I do have a picture of my little beans inside. That's them right there, the little white orb. So that's that. That's that. Now I'm in the 2-week wait. I am 2 days post-transfer today. And I still had the UTI issues going on. That has gotten worlds better. And I also had some very, let's call them sharp stabbing pains yesterday. Lower left, a few in the lower right. The nurses said that's probably still my ovaries, could be corpus luteum. And I'm sure my ovaries are still the sizes of oranges. At least they kind of feel that way. They're feeling better every day. They are, but I could still feel that they are oversized. Absolutely. Other than that, today has been pretty uneventful so far. The no pain, no bladder issues, which is heaven sent. Any of you guys who have had one of those before knows what I mean. They're oh yeah, you don't want one of those. So that's that. So now we wait. Now we wait. My first test is March 19th, which is next Wednesday. And that is 10 days past transfer at that point. But it is at like 7 in the morning when I'm going. So I don't know if that's technically a full 10 days or not. I don't know. I don't know if I get the results right then and there, or if I have to wait, or what the deal is. But I'm sure the closer we get to that day, the crazier I am going to get. But I am trying to stay positive and keep my head in the right place. Any of you who are connected to my Facebook have probably realized by now that I am putting up a daily affirmation. I'm calling it the IVF 2-week wait affirmation, day 1, day 2, day 3, and so on. That's just what I need to do to make sure my head's in the right place, and hopefully those of you who view it will like it or find it amusing. Or maybe it'll help some other people too. Keep their heads in the right place. It's so hard through this journey, so hard to stay positive, but it's so important. Other than that, I don't know what else I'm going to be doing during this 2-week wait. I did subscribe to a couple of monthly subscription boxes. So maybe depending on when those boxes come in, Maybe you'll see a couple of videos that are not, TTC, IVF, 2-week weight related. They're just, again, trying to keep myself busy. One of them is a box that I don't think I've seen anybody do reviews on here. It's a newer one. It's called Meow Box, and I'm sure a lot of you are laughing now because many of you know I have 8 cats. So it's very fitting. The other one is Loot Crate, which a lot of people do, but I couldn't resist anymore. I kept saying, I'm not going to do that one. Everybody does that one, but it's so me, it's not even funny. So I had to go with it. And I may do a third one. I don't know. I haven't decided. There's a couple other new ones out there that caught my attention. I'd have to subscribe pretty quickly to get the boxes this month, but that's neither here nor there. Other than that, I have gotten some questions. Am I going to turn into a pee on a stick addict? I don't know. I don't know. I would like to say no, because I don't want to make myself crazy. I don't. I do, however, have a stash of the cheapy strips you can get off of Amazon. I can't remember their names, Wendolfo or something like that. They're not the best ones out there. They're not the greatest for showing darkness progression either, but you will get a second line. That's what counts, right? So I do have those. They're buried in my bathroom, so I can't get to them easily. So I have to really think that through if I really want to torture myself. And the reason why I say that is sometimes those lines don't show up as quickly as we'd like them to, just depending on what you got going on in there. And I don't want to make myself a nervous wreck or an over-emotional wreck if I don't get a double line, for no good reason. Because, maybe I'm not seeing the line. And honestly, when I went through this a year ago and I had my blighted ovum, the one thing I do remember is that when the doctor called me and said, hey, you're pregnant, I had tested the day before and there wasn't a damn thing there. And when she told me that, I tested again, and I realized that because I was so early, I had to wait like more than the full 5 minutes for even the slightest line to show up, which told me the line was there yesterday, the day before. I just didn't wait long enough. And I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to do that to myself. I just want to be patient and wait for the doctor's test, which is the most accurate one. And then I don't have to play with my emotions. But will I be able to wait? I have no idea. I have no idea. Knowing that I have the tests, knowing that it's easy to go out and get a more accurate one at a drugstore right around the corner, literally. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to have the willpower not to do that. Right now I'm okay. In about 7 or 8 days, I don't know if I'll be okay. I might want to turn into a pee on a stick addict. But if I do that, I'm going to have to find some way to not let myself get crazy. Because, yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. So back to the 8 that were not ready on the day of transfer. They did tell us not to keep our hopes up. They were hoping for maybe about half of them to catch up by the next day. Day 6 of growth, which was yesterday, is the freeze point. So they were hoping that at least half of them would catch up and be able to be frozen successfully. And I got a call yesterday, and we did better. We did better than they expected. 5 of the remaining 8 did successfully freeze. So we have some sibling embryos on ice for future use. always a good thing. Always a good thing to not have to start all of this over again. That was one of my many fears, having to start all of this over again. All of you guys know I'm not good with needles, as I have found out. I have gotten much better with them, but obviously I think any of us would pray and hope to not have to go through a majority of the injection process of IVF. I am doing the progesterone and oil shots. The estrogen shots start tomorrow. 2 days? I don't remember. I have it written down. The 13th. They start on the 13th. So 2 days. And, you know, those were scary. Those were scary. My husband was a nervous wreck the first time. He still does not like doing it. But they weren't that bad. I don't know if I just overreacted and the needle looks worse than it really is, or if my husband's doing an awesome job, but I don't feel much. I don't. There has been a few times where, I don't know if it was just the location that he picked, that as he was pushing the medicine in, I felt the strangest, I'm going to call it, I don't know, I guess I'm just going to go with feeling. It was kind of like a nerve feeling down, like a twingy feeling, about halfway down my thigh, and then it just stopped, and the rest of the medicine went in, and I was fine. So I don't know. I don't know what that one was. But normally I don't feel much, and so far, I am not sore from them. I'm sure the longer we have to do this, and as he runs out of new spots and he has to use old spots, I'm sure that will change. But at this point, with 2 embryos in, I don't care. I don't. And I was hoping for that when I started this, that by the time I got to this point, that once the embryos are in, the shots wouldn't bother me. And you know what? They don't. They don't. So that's awesome. That's all I got, guys. You may see some videos from me between now and the eventful day, but I don't know. It will depend on if I need more of a distraction, if some of my boxes come in, but you will definitely hear from me next week once I get the news. That will hopefully be good. Will be good. Will be good. Positive thinking. Positive thinking. All right. I will talk to you guys later. See ya. Bye.